The candidates for November are set.
I know Donald Trump's type.
Between now and Election Day,
we are not going back.
A campaign season unfolding faster.
Kamala Harris is not getting a promotion
Than any in recent history.
Make America great again.
Follow it all with new episodes every weekday on the NPR Politics Podcast.
You're listening to another episode of Mother's War on Violence here at WCBU 89.9 FM. And I'm your host, Yolanda Wallace. And I thank you for listening to another podcast. One of the things Mother's War on Violence as a 501c3 organization tries to focus on is mentoring. And to talk about our mission about tearing down strongholds in the family. Sometimes if you're in a single family parent home, you have a hard time with, finding someone to help you in raising and mentoring the young children of today. So with that being said, I would like to introduce our two people we have from the Big Brother Big Sisters, and I'd like to introduce Hannah Daly. Can you say hi, Hannah?
Hello.
And Jillian.
Hello.
Thank you. All right. And I would like for you to just, either one, whichever one wants to share, a little brief history in your role.
Yeah, for sure. So, as Yolanda mentioned, my name's Hannah Daly, and I'm the program director at Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Great.
I've been with the agency now for 6 years. So started off working as a case management position, and then kind of moved into the more of the director role with the program. So loving my role with the agency. Just some brief history about Big Brothers Big Sisters, I guess, before I pass over to Jillian. But we were started back in 1904 as a nationwide organization. So Big Brothers Big Sisters of America was started. And then 1980, that's when we started the Heart of Illinois, so our local organization here in Peoria. We serve Peoria, Woodford, Tazewell, Fulton, Stark, Knox counties currently, Marshall County as well. So we're currently serving close to around 250 kids. Our goal is to exceed that and serve over 300, so we're working towards that right now.
Awesome. Jillian?
So, my name is Jillian Guede. I have been with the agency for about 8 months now. I work as a manager of communications and development, and it's just been a blast. I help a lot with the just spreading the word about what we do, reaching more people, but then also the development side, so trying to grow our capacity to reach more kids, more volunteers through donations, grants, all that good stuff. So it's been fun.
Awesome. I like the Big Brother Big Sisters program because they are really reaching the kids in levels of ways that they couldn't have been able to do some activities and stuff at home to help them grow the relationships. And a matter of fact, I've even had a personal experience with them myself in being a single parent family home at a younger age than I am now, of course. But and I love to watch the relationships between, and I had 2 boys and a girl, right? And so I love to watch the relationship with them, with their big brothers, who were able to, build a relationship with them, expose them to a different way of thinking, talk about career stuff, and, just improving their grades. It was like an extra boost, the extra help for me, being a single parent until I remarried. And the Big Brother Big Sister in itself, it seems to have grown throughout the years.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've definitely grown. Obviously, we did take a little step back, as most agencies did during COVID, but we are still kind of in that regrowth phase. But we are growing, and we have a lot of big picture views for Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're working towards now starting new programs. We started a Bigs and Blue program, so working with our local law enforcers, and then doing more of like a group mentoring setting as well. So with working with kids on our wait list, so we can better serve them until they're placed in that one-to-one match too. So definitely a lot of growth.
Okay, great. And so what does one have to do to become a mentor?
Yes. So there's a few steps. It's quite simple, actually, but it just depends on how quickly the volunteer gets through the process.
Okay.
What they do once they are initially interested, they'll place that initial inquiry with us on our website. They can call our office. That's when they'll learn more about the programs that we have. After that, they'll fill out a volunteer application, and then they'll do an in-person interview and then a volunteer training with our volunteer enrollment specialist. We do a couple things on our end, too. So we do like reference checks, background checks, just because safety is our number one priority with being a youth serving organization. So that's kind of the general overview of it. So a few steps, but not too timely at all.
Awesome. Is there anything you'd like to add with that?
No, that's really it. I think she covered it well.
I think she did. She gave a big spiel. That's awesome. And I was going to say that I knew you guys did that because when I had the Big Brother in our lives, and we tried a Big Sister, but there wasn't very many Big Sisters available at that time in the mid-90s. And then now I hear it's just the opposite.
Yes, I was just going to say it's quite the opposite now.
That is funny.
We're working towards doing more recruitment events too now, but Jillian can kind of touch on that here in a second.
Okay.
But we so our wait list, we have 110 kids waiting to be matched right now. And that's kind of where we've seen it over the last year or two. And with that being said, the majority of those kids are boys. So about 85 of those kids are boys waiting for a big brother.
Awesome. So you have more women volunteering now for the Little Sisters than you do.
We do, yes.
Okay. All right, great.
Yeah, on that, I think our biggest need is volunteers. Just always looking for more people to join, and whether it be through our Lunch Buddies program, meeting with them during their lunch break, or in our community-based program, really doing whatever they want in the community, hanging out with the kid, playing a sport, taking them to dinner, all that good stuff. Is what we need. We recently did a campaign called 60 Bigs in 60 Days.
Okay.
And we did exceed our goal. We got 61 bigs.
Yes.
Wow.
And so that was great. Or at least volunteer inquiries. We're working on that process as Hannah went through. It is a process to make sure that we're maintaining the safety for the child, to do the background checks, interview the volunteers. But we have that interest. But with 120 almost kids waiting, we still have a good amount of kids that are looking for a big, and our goal is to cut down on that time so that they can have that volunteer. So the biggest need is that volunteer, the time commitment, and it's really not anything crazy. Both of us are bigs. It's a couple hours.
You are? Both of you guys?
Yeah.
We are, yep.
You work there and you're
Yes.
volunteering? Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a joy. I just saw my little yesterday, and we hung out for an hour and a half and went for a walk and then got ice cream. And so I wanted to get outside anyways after working in the office all day. So you do that a couple times a month, and it really does mean the world to the child, but also to you. And so that's the biggest thing we like to stress is we need volunteers, but it is a gift of your time, but it's really not that much time.
Okay, great. And so do you just apply online, or do you go to the Big Brother Big Sister office?
Yeah.
And where are you located?
So we are located in the neighborhood house building. So that's on Matthew Street in Peoria. And we will likely do an in-person interview. Sometimes they do it over Zoom, but for the most part, we like to see the volunteer in person. To start, you could find us online. We have a page on our site called Be a Big, where there's tons of information about what it's like to become a big. You could fill out a form there. And then our wonderful volunteer enrollment specialist, Jordan, will reach out to you. And that's how you get started.
Awesome. I'm thinking about, it's crossed my mind a few times because my big brother that I had was made such an impression on me about how much he poured into my boys that it makes me wonder, in my busy schedule, how much time could I have? What is the least amount of time you can spend with the child?
Yes.
With that program.
Yeah. So we ask that our volunteers and our families, of course, commit to meeting 2 to 4 times a month for a minimum of 1 full year. We can be flexible with that too. Obviously, we know some months are crazier than others. So, as long as it's being communicated with the family and the volunteer, like, hey, this month I'm not really able to meet, 4 times, like, I can only meet 2, which that's still our minimal time requirement. So that's just fine. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that's great to know. I mean, because I'm just wondering, how do you girls do it? Because you girls are always busy.
It's definitely a flexible volunteer opportunity.
Is it? Okay,
which is,
great.
It works well with everyone's schedule. If you're, like Jillian said, for lunch buddies, you're in the office, you want to get out of the office, go see your little at their school and, just kind of hang out. Or if you are, we've heard recently that a lot of our volunteers are kind of taking their littles to do things that they would do every day. So one of our littles told recently their match sports specialist that they went to the grocery store with their big and they had a blast. It's honestly like the little things, like they simply just want a friend to be there just to kind of spend time with them and offer that consistency towards them too.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I found some of the best conversation I have with my little is when we're driving to wherever we're going. It's just like the time you have alone, just like to be there for them to listen. They don't often have that adult that is able to listen because they come from families that are either single parent or my little has a really big family. And so the fact that she has someone solely listening to what she's saying is just huge. And so doesn't really matter what we're doing. It's just the fact that I'm here to chat.
Yep.
Awesome. And I like to take this time to have a big shout out to Caterpillar. Caterpillar has had so many volunteers that come because there was one point in time that one volunteer was working with Caterpillar for a short time, and then he had to move overseas with Caterpillar, and then another big brother came in and he had been in their lives ever since. So, shout out to Caterpillar for always, involving their volunteers.
Yes.
So do you still get a good participation from?
We do. Yeah. Cat is amazing. Just the different, all the individuals that we have currently involved within Big Brothers Big Sisters that work for Caterpillar are phenomenal. We have people that are on our leadership council, so that's our group of young professionals. We have board members that work for Cat. And then of course Bigs as well. So and they do a lot with supporting our programs for sure.
Oh, great. Awesome. So, and Mothers War on Violence would like to, of course, partner with more mentoring programs here in the city, because this year we launched our mentoring programs, 2 of them actually, Tea with Queens and Talk with Kings.
Yes.
And we were able to collaborate and Hannah, you sent a few over to the our mentoring events.
Yes, yeah.
You want to share that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. We're so happy to have formed this partnership with you, and just the amazing. Not only the background of your story, your organization. It's extremely inspiring, but just the different events that you think of and offer to the community. We're always searching for different ways that we can incorporate our matches in community events. So we were really happy and excited to send some of our matches over to that. And we got a lot of great positive feedback on the events as well.
That is so awesome. And would you like to add anything, Jillian, before we close?
Yeah, just want to talk about some more of our upcoming events.
Okay, great.
So shout out to everyone who joined us at Big Luau. We just wrapped that up a couple weeks ago. It was a blast. We raised $54,000, and so that is just really going to help our programs grow. So that was huge.
Awesome.
Upcoming though, we in November we're going to do a big campaign towards getting more guys to join called Brovember. So we will be posting all over our social media website about what this campaign is going to look like, but we will have events surrounding that campaign. So if you're a guy or you know a guy that could be a good mentor, just keep your eyes out for that. And otherwise, events coming up are we always like to offer match activities for our bigs and littles to do fun things together. And so it makes it easy. Sometimes it's hard to think, what should I do today with my little? And so we'll do pumpkin carving. We'll do a holiday celebration for anyone involved in our program. So just an extra incentive if you're thinking about becoming a volunteer. We do lots of fun stuff.
Awesome. Would you like to add anything else to that?
No, I mean, we're just really excited and happy to be here, and we
Great.
appreciate all the work that you do in the community and your acknowledgement for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we're just happy to be here, so thanks for having us.
Well, you are listening to another great podcast of Mothers War on Violence, and I like to dedicate this podcast to a very good, our big brother. His name was Matt Bowski, and the Bowski family, the family that he comes from was phenomenal. The mother and the father, they raised this young man to be able to give back and mentor not just one of my kids, but two of them, and to other mentors who have done the same thing. I'm sure you've had different mentors that have come back with one to another.
Yes.
To share more time with other kids, right?
Absolutely.
So thank you again for listening to Mothers War on Violence. This is Yolanda Wallace.